Hello and welcome to Techie Hive. Today we are starting a new series for Spring Framework interview questions. As you know, Spring Framework is the most popular framework for development of Java enterprise applications. Keeping this in mind, we have designed this series. And here is the first question. What is inversion of control, IOC? How does it differ from dependency injection in Spring Framework? So by asking this question, interviewer wants to know that you have good understanding of Spring Framework and also you understand how framework works internally in a software application. Let's go to the answer straight away. So the inversion of control, IOC, is a design principle in which the control of object creation and dependency management is inverted from the developer's code to a container or framework. Traditionally, in a Java application, developer's code is responsible for creating objects and managing their dependencies using new keyword. On other hand, in IOC, the container or the framework like Spring takes control of object creation and managing the dependencies. That means instead of application code controlling the flow and dependencies, the framework does it for you. So basically, inversion of control is a design principle which inverts creation of the objects and management of the dependencies from developer's code to the framework. Let's see the advantages of using IOC in an application. Here is the list of advantages, and first advantage is loose coupling. So components depend on abstractions rather than concrete implementation, making the system easier to modify and extend. Improved testability. Dependencies can be easily mocked or substituted, enabling simpler and more effective unit testing. Better maintainability. Changes in one component have minimal impact on others, reducing the risk of breaking an existing code. Enhanced reusability. Components are more generic and more reusable because they are not tightly bound to specific implementation. Scalability and flexibility. Switching implementation. So database logging messaging requires little or no code change, often just configuration changes. And the last advantage is clear separation of concerns. Business logic focus on what to do, while the IUC container handles how and when dependencies are provided and maintained. Let's see a simple example of IOC. Here we have created a car object without IOC and with IOC. And we have defined one dependency called engine in the car class. And here you can see in the example without IOC, you manually create the dependency here inside the constructor. So programmer's code needs to create the object inside the constructor. And then uh, engine object is injected into the car object. So in this case, car is tightly coupled to the engine. You have to manage object creation manually. On other hand, using IOC, we just specify the dependencies and specify the how the dependency is injected, and then rest of the responsibilities are taken by the framework. So car does not create engine itself. You can see here, car is not creating the engine object. It is created by the framework. Spring container provides the engine object. That's correct. The control of object creation and wiring is inverted to the Spring framework. So framework takes care of the dependencies and inject those dependencies as specified. Let's see what is dependency injection. So dependency injection DI is a design pattern or technique to implement IOC. It injects dependencies into objects instead of letting the objects create themselves. So the DI is one way to achieve IOC. So this is basic difference between uh, inversion of control and dependency injection. Inversion of control is a design principle. On other hand, dependency injection is a design pattern to achieve IOC. And here are the steps how DI works. DI creates all of the objects or beings, manages their life cycle, injects required dependencies. Okay, that's all I wanted to cover in this video. Hope you liked it. Please subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.